Hi there grade 10, 11 and 12s. Welcome back to Dandelion Delphi tutorials. I'm going to attempt to show you today how to easily create flowcharts on the site called draw.io. I'm not an expert, but I just thought I'll show you and hopefully you figure extra things out and you can leave some comments to help all of us. This here is the site you want to go to. Just type in draw.io. It then gives you this option here. This is if you already have a diagram and you want to go back and add onto it or edit it. So I'm going to click there on a new diagram. And here I'm going to just click on create. And it will take me where I usually save these diagrams. And I'm just going to call it flowchart test. And then I save it. So now it's saved on my computer. Should I want to go back to it later, I can and then edit it. So let's just move this around a bit. You can also get the desktop app, but I'm using this through Google Chrome just to show everyone how it works. So here on the left, this is where you search for your objects. There are many in here, but I'm just going to start us off with a rounded triangle. And we're going to put it at the top because we need to say where it starts. So I'm going to type in there start. It's a little small. I have found if I change this here on the right, you have to click on the object, then go to text, and then you can increase the text. I'm going to change it to 18. Once you have changed that, it keeps this. Now you can make it a bit smaller, larger. It works like a normal object in maybe PowerPoint if you want to compare it to that. Now what is fun to use is if you hover over the little dots there, it gives you an arrow. And if I now click on the arrow, it gives me other little boxes to use. So let's say I wanted to get input from the user. So I'm going to click there. Remember this box here is for input and output. You can click and drag them around. You can also use the keys on your keyboard, the left and right arrows, to move them up and down. So these skew boxes here are used for input and output. And I'm just going to have input from the user for an age that they entered. So all you have to do now to get text in there is you just start typing. Oh, I haven't clicked on it. You have to make sure it's selected. And I type in age. If you want to make changes, currently I can only change the text because I'm still on the inside of this object. Just click on the outside and here you can see you can change some styles. If I didn't want the rounded rectangle there, I unselect the rounded and it gives it sharp edges. You can also change the color and so on, but in my class learners are handing in their phase 1's printed and it's in black and white, so it wouldn't make a difference. But if you're handing it in electronically, it might be nice to add some color there. So remember when we have a flow chart and I have basically an if statement, so a yes or a no. Again, I'm going to click on the arrow and we're going to use a triangle for anything that's an if statement. And you can see it immediately connects that arrow to it, so wherever you move it, it will move with it. So in this triangle, I'm now going to ask the user, let's just align it, is the age less than 10? Now, whenever you're using, I'm calling a triangle, sorry guys, it's a diamond. Whenever I'm using a diamond with a yes, no, I have to have an arrow pointing. And for this one, I'm going to have output again, so I'm going to use the skew one. And if the age, oh no, I don't want to do that. So this is great that I made a mistake, because if you've made a mistake, Control Z, you'll undo, that works. And there's also an undo and redo button there at the top, which is very useful. So for this one, I'm actually going to add another diamond. And in this diamond here, I'm going to say, is age less than 14. This is going to place learners in different categories. Now remember, with a triangle, a diamond, your if statements, on these lines you have to put a yes and a no. So to add that, you just simply click on the line, and for this one I want to say no, and you just type in no. And when I move it, that no moves with it, which is great. That's what I want. Okay, so I want this one to be kind of below that one, but I don't want this arrow to be there. If you want it to link to that dot there, you click on that dot and then you drag it. Can you see it makes a green dot? And then you let go. And now it's connected to the top of this one. I can now do the same here. Let's say I want it to have output here. So there's my output. I'm going to put it here at the bottom. My arrow doesn't look great, so we're going to fix that just now. And yeah, I'm going to say you guys are in group, oh, I can't type today, group C. Okay, let me show you how to change that arrow. I'm going to move it. So first I'm going to move it from here to there. There's my green dot. And now I want to say if that is not true, so I'm going to type in no, click on your arrow, and then it will display this. Now for this one here, I also want a yes. Oh, it linked it there. That's not what I wanted, so I'm going to Control Z. Undo that, and if I click now, oh, it's still doing that. Let me move it down a bit. If I click there, so it automatically, when your objects are aligned, it's going to link them together. I'm going to click there and say no, I want a new one. So here I'm going to display, I want them on the same. You can also see the grid lines there, so you can align them nicely. I'm going to say you guys are going to go to group B. Again, I want my arrows to look nice, so this one on that edge is at the right place, but this dot here I'd rather connect there. And again, I want to have no there, so yes there, so I'm just clicking on the line and then say yes. I'm using the online version, so it's important that you go and make sure it's saved. You are able then later on to come back to this and add on to it. So when it gives you that initial page, instead of saying new, I'm going to say open an existing one. And there's lots of fun things here to use. Maybe you need to draw diagrams for other things. I don't know. It's much easier to use than to use PowerPoint. Okay, so let's say this was done. I'm not completely done with what I wanted to do. This guy still needs a yes on the side and so on. We can actually just quickly add that. Let's say I wanted to have this displayed. I wanted there to say group. I keep on typing that with a capital letter. I want to say group A. On this line here, I want to put a yes. And when you are doing flowcharts, you do need to add an end. So I'm going to add an end here at the bottom. Now I'm going to select this one here, but I want it to look the same as the start with a rounded. So remember, we just go here, we click rounded, and it changes it to a rounded one. And I will say end there. Oh, another useful function is if I click on this and I use Control D, so that's to make a copy, a duplicate. That's what D stands for. I can copy it and move it, and then I can link them. So I can just click on that arrow and we'll link it, and I can drag it so it's nicely aligned. And then this guy here also needs an end, so I'll click on that one, and there I have it linked. It takes a little bit of time to get used to it, but once you've got the hang of it, it's actually quite simple to use. So now I'm going to go File, Save. Now this saves it in this .draw.io file extension, and you can't import that into Word. So what you want to do is you will go File, Save As, and then here at the bottom you want to select this bitmap one. So now I want to say flowchart. I can give it the same name because it's going to have a different file extension. And I'm going to click Save, and now it's saved as a picture as well. Now in your pad document where you need to insert it, you'll simply go to Insert Picture, and wherever you have saved this. So there's my flowchart test. I insert it and it works like a normal picture. You can also fiddle with the colors here. You can change colors here. Did you want to have it another color? Or you could have changed it online. Thank you guys for watching Dandelion Delphi tutorials. Please leave some comments if you figure out more interesting features on draw.io. And I hope this helped you. Hope to see you soon.